It's Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance, and we are joined today by Dave Faulkner. He is a member of the Alabama House of Representatives, a new member of the august body, one of 105. Successful lawyer. What made you decide to take a leap and come to Montgomery?
Brad, I felt called. I felt like this was a calling for me. And I really felt like this is where the Lord wanted me to be. And I've felt very confirmed in that since I've been here. A chance to, I really enjoy serving other people. One of the things about my law practice, I'm a practicing attorney.
Right.
I'm a defense lawyer. And one of the things I've loved the most about practicing law is being able to represent and serve my clients. This is just an expansion of that for me. I get to serve even more people and help more people.
I mean,
That's
you're
right.
serving what, about 50,000 in your district?
About 40 to 45,000.
Okay, so that's a big number. In some states that's a small number, but in Alabama, I mean, that's a lot of people that are knocking on your door and saying, Representative, help me. It's not one client or a cadre of clients. How do you do it?
Well, it's been interesting being new
Right.
and trying to balance work, family, your faith, and also be down here serving people in government.
And let's talk about that.
Sure.
Because that is a remarkable balancing act that you are trying to endure. You have a full-time practice, like you said. You have a family. You appear to be dedicated to your faith, and that takes time. And now you have this. And, you know, Birmingham to Montgomery, a few hours on the road. How do you do it, sir?
Well, you know, this year, being new, I
Right.
really wanted to make sure that I focused on, because there's a big learning curve.
Clearly.
Having not been in the legislature, I've never held public office
Right.
before. So it was a new thing, and I wanted to really focus on this role. The people elected
Right.
me to this position. I wanted to honor their vote and their support and make sure I did a really good job. So I've spun the wheels a little bit, and you get better.
And let me ask you, since it was your first election, I would presume that you spent a lot of time with the people, with your constituents. It's not that long ago. I mean, November was not that long ago. Primary not that long ago. What were they saying to you?
You know, you get very close to the people, obviously, during the campaign.
Right.
And so I was out I knocked on thousands of doors in my district. And I listened to the people about what they cared about. And
What do they care about?
well, a lot of the people in my district care about District 46.
Right.
I'm blessed to represent a district that has great public education. Great public education in the state. And they care deeply about their schools. They care deeply about living in a safe community. They care deeply about jobs. Policies that are going to help reinforce that. Reinforce having good public schools, good public education.
So have you heard from your constituents during this whole debate about the budget? We see an education budget in surplus, a general fund budget in deficit, discussions about unifying those budgets, discussions about maybe having the general fund raid the education fund. Has that been the phone calls, the emails, the tweets, the Facebook messages you're receiving?
Certainly you get some. I would like to have more. I'd like to have more input from my district.
I know what you're
So
saying.
but I have heard from some constituents, you get varying opinions,
Sure.
as you might imagine.
Right.
So I want to make sure I try to get back to the people that call me. As I go forward, I will be hopefully even more accessible so that they know how to get in touch with me. But I do hear from the constituents, just not as much as I would like. I'd like to hear more from them.
Why do you think that constituents are not getting in touch? And this is not unique to you, sir, of course. You know, there's this whole idea. Is it that everything's going pretty well, so no reason to gripe? Or he's not going to, I'm just one person. He's not going to be able to, you know, take my call, look at my tweet, my email. What do you think it is?
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to speak for anybody
No,
necessarily,
no,
but
yes.
but I think what it is people are very busy, just like my family's very busy with 3 children and my wife, and we're trying to get kids to where they need to be. We're trying to make decisions that affect our families. So it's very hard sometimes to pay attention to what all's happening in the government, what's happening in the Alabama legislature, and then respond to that. But we do hear from, obviously there's lobbyists and people that are in that we hear from.
But that's a separate issue.
That's right.
If I may ask, how old are your children?
My oldest son just turned 16.
Okay.
So I have a new driver.
Which will stay off the roads for
That's
sure
right.
in Birmingham.
That's right.
So our kids are kind of around the same age. I got 13 and 11. I'm presuming that your kids go down from 16.
So that's correct.
Yeah. So what do they think of Dad being an elected official? You know, are they embarrassed? Are they proud? Are they baffled? Because they're at an age where they know what's going on. I mean, they get it. What do they think?
You know, I think my oldest is a little bit kind of taken back by it, maybe a little bit, but my youngest
and how old's your youngest now?
My youngest is my 9-year-old daughter.
Okay, so she's aware. She knows what's going on.
She'll be down here next year as a 4th grader because all the 4th graders in Alabama come to the State House.
Right.
So I'll get to see her in her grade next year.
So your son's a little not sure what to think of it. Your 9-year-old is proud.
I think she's very proud and likes it. And my middle son is 14, and I think he likes it. But both of them are not very political yet.
Well,
so
sports,
we'll see.
girls. I mean, they're busy with other things.
That's exactly right.
Right. Now, what about Mrs. Faulkner? I assume that's her last name. What does she think?
You know, my wife is. She likes it. She's been so supportive, and you can't do this without a supportive spouse. And so I owe a lot to my wife for taking care of our family with me being gone.
Are your parents still with us?
Yes.
What do they think? Because that you never know. I mean, that could be the proudest moment of a parent's life, or my son went to law school and now he went down to the bottom and is a representative? How can he do that?
They're very excited, and they were my biggest supporters along with my wife and my family. I mean, they were so proud of me having this opportunity, and they've been great. And they came down for my first day of the session.
No doubt. Okay, so you're here a few months. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you hope to do that you've already done, that you plan to do over the next 4, 8, 12, whatever, many years?
Well, you know, I want to make a difference for the people of Alabama, and that's what the people sent me down here is to do that.
But are there specific issues that are your issues? Because look, you can only know so much. I mean, we're both lawyers. I don't practice anymore. Yeah, we try to be experts in everything, but we can't. I mean, let's face it. And so, are you looking to become an expert in any certain area and make that your own?
Well, that's a good question.
And maybe it's too early to ask, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just wondering, have you figured that?
I'm very passionate that education in this state needs to be, we need to keep raising that, increasing it.
Right.
So I'm very passionate about education because I believe it fixes so many other problems. We have to have a good workforce in this state.
Right.
We have to have better educated children. Alabama's making some strides in that,
in
our pre-K program.
I've read, and it is remarkable. But, you know, you may have seen Education Week put out a survey, and Alabama got a D+. I mean, that's frustrating, especially given all the good work that the state is doing.
Well, we need to have better education in the state for our children. We got to start early, and we've made a commitment to keep doing that. I want to fight for that. I want to fight for our educational system in the state. I'd like to also fight to bringing in better jobs, bringing in more industry into the state. Alabama did a good job of that in the auto industry.
No doubt.
A number of years ago.
Hyundai and others are rumored to be poking around. Mercedes is here. I mean, that is a growth area for sure.
Right. So job incentives, keeping the businesses we have here, and wanting for other businesses to want to locate here. And that gives jobs to our people, but they want an educated workforce. So it goes back to education as well. But education also helps us avoid prisons.
And that will be our next discussion when you come back, prison reform.
That's it.
His name is Dave Faulkner. He is a member of the Alabama House of Representatives. My name is Brad Pomerance. This is Charter Local Edition.